in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hello and welcome to the Sunken Submarine Podcast for week. What is this?
Two.
Week 2 of season
Week 2 or
3.
3.
That's pretty wild. I don't know
Am
if
I on
we're
the
I don't
Am
know
I
if
on the
we're
right video here?
on the right view.
Because I don't see us.
I don't see us popping up there yet, so I'm a little curious to see if it just waits 30 seconds and then it starts showing up, or if it's not gonna work at all.
It could be. Yep, there it is.
Okay,
All
there we
right.
are.
Cool.
We're there, but we're jumpy. It looks like.
Oh, we're hanging in there.
Are you able to hear our voices at all?
I can
Yeah.
turn this up real quick.
This week 2.
Yep, I hear our voices. It looks like our faces are frozen, but I hear our voices.
I don't know. I'm on the same thing that you are.
All our voices are on. That's what matters.
Well, yeah, that's all right. As long as you can hear our voices, we'll figure out this video stuff later. I brought the wrong equipment for this to work perfectly.
We're just
So
jumping a little bit. That's all. Because now it's starting to work a little more.
okay,
It's going
that's
a little
good.
more smoothly now.
Okay, yeah. I'm fidgeting with these settings to make sure that it's gonna look right.
And I'm going to share this on social media, and then we'll be good to go. Um, so are you sharing on Facebook, or should I do that?
I can throw it up there right now while we're talking.
Okay.
So, yeah, we have a lot to cover on this episode. I mean, we've got a solid amount. Starting with basically any news that's happened this week. We're gonna cover all of our new releases like we typically do, and all that kind of good stuff. So, as Philip DeFranco would say, let's just jump right into it.
I'm trying to think of like what's like the biggest thing we have to cover this week. Probably a little bit of news, but I don't know. I'm just excited about Post Malone's album that comes out this Friday. Now I
It's
know that's next week's news, but I'm just stoked for it. I think it's gonna be great.
Me too, because last album was I mean, we ran through it. It wasn't considered album of the year, didn't win album of the year, but Beer Bongs and
But we
Bentleys should have been up there in the top. Um,
yeah.
that was yeah. But all right,
I
I have
am
that up there now.
I am excited for that album. I think Post Malone's known to have uh, plenty of different things, right? So different styles within his music, and we've already heard that with the 3 songs that he's released.
Uh huh.
Um, but we're gonna, we'll talk about it in a little bit, but he's got so many different collaborations on his upcoming album, so it's gonna be great, I think.
I know. I saw your list of collaborations. I don't know exactly where you got that from, but I'm like, dang.
He
This.
posted it on his Instagram, and then he later came out and said that all these people were going to be on the album, featured on the album. So, yeah. Um, Also, since there are so many collaborations on that album, and there were a few collaborations released, we're also going to go through our top 5 collab songs of all time. So,
And because Post Malone was with Pilots this week too, which we didn't talk about yet.
true, yeah. I don't know. I'm excited about this episode. Um, I just shared all our stuff on social media. So that should be good to go.
Sweet. And feel free to check for feedback to see if anyone's like, "Hey, this sounds bad." Because if you see this and you're like, "Yeah, this quality is terrible," just let us know. We'll get working on it.
We'll work on that. Yeah. I mean, we're also a little bit late today because I had a time mishap. I thought we were scheduled for a 8 o'clock, but I forgot that I'm now in Central Time. So that was the other issue and mishap.
Yep.
So when I get on a little earlier next week, and then we can go over everything, make sure everything's tip top shape well beforehand.
But yeah. I don't know. I think it's working fine. It looks like it's working fine still.
Good.
But
Well, let's hop into it then. What are we on here? Are we going into our top five?
oh, we could go into our top 5 right off the bat here. I
Yeah.
was
Oh well. Wait. Wait. We're having another bad day. We totally forgot about that.
the most
The
important part of the whole stinking thing.
podcast is that it has been 1,000 or 14,147 days since the death of John Lennon.
Just that's crazy to think about.
It's crazy to think that we've almost been doing this for. I mean, we've been doing this for over 365 days. I feel. When was our first release?
Probably around August 25th of last year. That's my guess. So
We're pretty. I mean, it's been a year. It's pretty crazy to think that we've been doing this for a year.
that is crazy. All right, so do we want to do this real quick and go over our collaboration? Wow, excuse me. Sorry, everybody.
Brandon got back. He said it looks good, just a lot of buffering.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. So hopefully we can get around that.
We're trying to figure that out, Brandon. We had a little bit of trouble earlier. Started to begin with today, so maybe next week we'll have it all figured out.
I'm still gonna try to lower our video quality and see if that makes it easier to just stream straight. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
all right, I'll keep messing with it. All right, so let's start with our top 10 because this is a very difficult list once again.
Top five. Yeah.
Well, it should have been a top 10.
We could have done a top 10 easily.
And we're gonna start. I guess we should start all the way at the bottom.
You can kick us off.
It's kind of weird to do this, but I'm gonna start off with Bedrock.
Oh, I didn't even think of that one.
Bedrock, Young Money. I need the list of everyone that's in it, but we've got. I know we have Lil Wayne, Nicki Minaj, Drake. Did you just say Birdman?
Yeah.
And oh, who the heck else is in that? There's so many people in that.
There's so many. I didn't even think of that. That's a good one. All right, we'll go to my 5 then. My number 5 is Run This Town, Jay-Z, Kanye West, and Rihanna.
Dang, that's a good choice.
It's such a good song, and the combination of those 3 is amazing. I think Rihanna is like a great feature on any song. That's what she does best.
I don't know if that's what she does best, but she's definitely great at features.
Throw her on a refrain, it's an immediate hit.
I almost thought one of my songs had her in it, but I was mistaken.
I had 2 songs with her and Kanye in it, and I took one of them off because I felt like that was too much Kanye.
All right, the next one I'm gonna go with is Airplanes Part Two. Haley Williams, B.O.B., and Eminem.
Eminem kills that
Because Eminem
song.
destroys it. I was like, I need one with Eminem because he does a lot of collaborations, and that is probably one of the best ones that there is. So
Yes, I agree with that. That's a good one. Um, I don't know. I mean, it's a great song. I don't know if that's one of the best collabs though.
I think it's a
B.O.B.
fantastic collab because
Whatever.
it's just high profile people doing what they do. I think it's a fantastic song too.
It's a great song, but yeah. Um, the next one I have is Smooth, Santana and Rob Thomas.
Whoa, you went way off to the other side on that one. I like that.
Yeah.
I don't know if I
Just
know that. Do I know that song? I don't know if I know that song.
yeah, you do. Yeah, you do. Smooth like the ocean, come with the moon.
Okay, yeah,
Got
yeah,
the
yeah.
kind of loving that I look for you. Give me a heartbreaker, forget about it. You know it.
Yeah. All right, my next one is man, uh 5 o'clock somewhere with Alan Jackson and Jimmy Buffett because I just don't think there's any better duo in the world.
God, I knew you were gonna talk Buffett
I
song.
I can't help it. I can't help it. Did you think I was gonna do Toes?
I didn't. I just knew you and Buffett. It's like everything had to have it on. What are we on? Three.
Yeah,
My number three is "We Taken Over." Akon, Lil Wayne, T.I., Rick Ross, Birdman, and Fat Joe.
that's an interesting one.
It's such a good song. It's what six artists come together and create. And then and I mean it's DJ Khaled. Sorry, DJ Khaled is also he's the one that produced the beat.
Okay.
It's like one of the first songs that he created with multiple people back in like the 2000s, probably 2008, 2009. Um, but man, this song is just wild.
So top two. I think. All right. I know. All right. I know one of these is probably on your list.
It's yeah,
So so
probably my number one.
so I'm gonna make it my number two, potentially risking that it's your number one. But Forever, featuring everybody. Featuring
That's my
everybody.
number one.
I'll let.
Drake, Kanye West, Lil Wayne, Eminem. That song is so good, and it's like a collaboration for the ages.
Like, why don't people do that anymore? I mean, somewhat you get some of those collaborations, but nothing like Forever was.
No, because a lot of the collaborations are just two people now, right? You get Ed Sheeran and Khalid, or Ed Sheeran just released a whole collab album, but it's only him and one other artist. Post Malone's releasing him and one other artist, kind of like a collab album. So
Mm-hmm.
there's a lot of collabs, but it's just two people. This artist of people creating like five different people creating one song or six different people, that just kind of got lost. And I think a lot of it has to do with disagreements, losing money to other people or whatever, right? Getting lawyers involved. I don't know. There's
Maybe,
probably
yeah.
a lot of
That's
work
easily possible.
that. Because I know that that's kind of like how a lot of these rappers end up having a fallout is because of money and having that issue of collaborations or whatever the case may be.
Right.
Plus, a lot of people. I mean, we've heard Eminem won't be put on a song because they feel like they lost to him.
That is completely true for like 90% of the songs that Eminem is in because
So I mean,
he always wins.
I
Always.
I get it, but like he's also bringing in a lot of money for both of the artists or however many artists there are.
Right.
So, All right, so my number two is Worldwide Choppers.
Ooh,
Tech Nine, Busta Rhymes, Yellow Wolf, Twista, Twisted Insane, Caesar, D-Lock, Uso in jail, and then Eminem was on Worldwide Choppers Part 2. So,
that's a really strong. That's a really strong option there. I wouldn't
oh
have thought
yeah,
of that one. I love that song so much, and I just don't think of it in the top collabs.
it's just funny though because when you said, "Oh, I probably am thinking of the one you're thinking of," and I go, "No, I don't think you
Yeah,
are."
you're right. That's one
I
of
was
my.
like, you wouldn't even consider this one. I feel.
It's one of my favorite songs of all time, but it wouldn't cross my mind. I love it. Love
Yep. And then obviously I'll go to my number one because you said it already. Forever, my number one. Obviously,
it.
that was amazing.
And my number one is going to be for best collab song of all time. I think it's Queen and David Bowie, Under Pressure. I love that those two joined together as absolute legends back in the day, and that they're still killing it, going strong with that song. People love it.
Like I said, that was going to be my that was gonna be on my list until you said something. Because that was, I mean, the ones that stood out to me were Forever and Queen, Under Pressure, and then a few other songs. But those were like the two that really stood out to me, and I was gonna put that up there on my list until you said something. So I agree with you on that.
All right, and that is our top five this week.
All right, I'd say that was a good top five. Since we were talking about Kanye a little bit there, I know we have some Kanye news, I believe. Yes.
Yeah, we do.
What's
Uh,
big?
the Kanye news is that we had Kim Kardashian release just a picture, and I can pull it up. 1 second here. It was a picture of that was it. So that's obviously Kanye there, but there was this picture of all of these song titles and like a list at the top, and it says Jesus is King at the top of this list. So people think that this is likely going to be his album, his the songs on his album, his set list, or whatever you call it. And there's all sorts of
So
speculation about everything else around there. But the question I have is, what happened to Yeezus
not Yeezus. Yeezus has already been released. Is
or
this Yon?
or Yandi? What happened? What happened to Yandi?
That's what I was gonna ask. Is this Yandy?
Or is it called Jesus is King?
Like, is it Jesus is King, but is it Yandy? Right?
Like he kept the same songs maybe and just changed the
Yeah,
name.
just change the album title. I don't know. I remember there was like a confirmation date for like Black Friday or something for Yandy, but then all of a sudden he was like, "I need to go to Africa and record more." So I don't
Yeah,
know.
because that was when that whole crazy video went down.
Yeah. Oh, that video is wild. But yeah,
Apparently, he kind of recreated that in Dayton recently.
yeah. That was the other thing I wanted to talk about. I can't believe we didn't talk about that last week.
I don't
So
know how we missed that.
you may know, Dayton has kind of where David and I went to college and met. Dayton has kind of had a pretty horrifying summer. They had a tornado hit, completely wiped out pretty much the entire north side and east side of Dayton. And then there was a shooting and a KKK rally. It's been a mess in Dayton as of recent. And so last weekend, 2 weekends ago, whatever, Kanye, Dave Chappelle, Chris Rock, Stevie Wonder, Chance the Rapper, they all got together and just put on this wild all-day performance in Dayton. And it all started off with Kanye's Sunday service. So, and I heard it was wild. I heard you could hear I mean, I know we have a friend that went. We had Dan that went. But I heard you could hear the acoustics all the way down the river because they were underneath that tent, and I guess
Yeah.
that tent amplified it over the river. I heard it was the coolest
That's awesome.
and most surreal feeling walking down that river and hearing this choir sing together. I heard it was just beautiful. And then I heard a high school marching band or some type of marching band was marching by and practicing and actually joined in with the choir. And the choir was singing along with them. I mean, it was pretty cool. And I watched a good hour of it while driving, and it was amazing. It was so cool.
Somebody told me that it was Stevie Wonder's like last performance that he was ever gonna do. I don't know if that's true or not, but somebody did tell me that.
I'd be surprised if that was true.
I would too, because especially since it's unplanned and just sort of out of nowhere.
Yeah. I mean, that's one good way to go out. It's pretty nice.
So yeah, I thought that was awesome though that he had that event for everybody.
Yeah. Yep. So yeah, I'm surprised we missed that. I mean, I don't know.
So for you and I was happy that you noticed this too, because I was pretty pumped about it. Is that 21 Pilots were performing, and then all of a sudden out of nowhere, Post Malone joins them.
Do you really think I was gonna miss that?
I don't know. Thought that why I was surprised to see that. I was just like, yes, he saw.
It was awesome. And did you watch it or no?
Yeah, I found it online. So they played "Don't Look Back in Anger."
Yep. And
by Oasis.
I thought that was so cool, especially because they're both Oasis fans.
Yeah, they're both Oasis fans, and they're playing something that isn't their song and just killing it.
I thought that was pretty. That was it was fitting for them, and then like I said, because Post Malone's got an album coming out this week, it was pretty fitting. So, and speaking of, do we have a slide for his album or no? We do, so I won't talk about it.
I thought it was really strange that he didn't say anything before and afterwards. He just showed up and then started to play and then just walked off. And everyone cheered, but he didn't go like, he didn't even say thank you to whatever city he was in.
Yeah, he left, got on, played, and walked off. The other thing I noticed was, as of recently, Billie Eilish and Pilots have also been kind of going through back and forth as well. I just noticed this recently. And I guess Billie played a Pilots song on stage and then talked about Tyler and Josh, and then Tyler and Josh mentioned Billie in one of their live set lists. So they're also doing a back and forth. I don't know, maybe, and then there's this rumor about Pilots doing a collab with Halsey.
Really?
Their next potential album, a collab album? I don't know.
That would be cool. Especially because they've never done a collab.
I know.
Well, that's not true. They did Heathens. No, Heathens didn't have. I'm sorry, that was a collab album, but there was no one else on that song. Did they do anything with someone else on it?
The only that they've done with something else, not someone else. The only other song they've done with something else is Cancer, and that's a My Chemical Romance jam.
Yeah, you know what? They actually they did collaborations with those guys that were their openers. What was their name?
Oh, you're right. Mute Math. And they did an AWOL Nation cover or a remix too. All right. Well, in other news, let's bounce to the next thing. Fetty Wap got arrested for assault. Does that
That's
surprise anyone?
probably not. So Fetty Wap
I'm surprised you could
basically got
see.
it in a I don't know what was going on, but he decided he was gonna punch three hotel workers and just basically just went for it. And
Did you hear what I said?
no, I didn't hear what you said.
Said I'm surprised he could see who he was hitting.
Oh my god. You know,
uh,
that's horrible. That's horrible.
that's all right. He's an idiot. I mean, he's a one-hit wonder. He's only got 1738. That's about it.
1738.
I'm like, hey, what's up, hello? All right, and then what's next? Justin
Well,
Bieber?
yeah.
I don't know this part. You gotta talk about this. I don't know anything about it.
So just this was just Justin Bieber. Basically, he made this really long Instagram post. Like I think it was like a screenshot of notes or something like that, and he basically was going through saying, you know, I was born a pop star. Basically, the story that everyone knows. He was, became a pop star very young, became very famous, and then started to think that he was like the best, right? And then he started getting on drugs and making just about every bad decision you could possibly make. And he's going through explaining all of this, um, and saying that he had struggled with drugs and that recently he's started to come off of all of that stuff and he's looking forward to the next stage of his life to get married. Actually,
He's already married.
or it not his next stage of life as marriage,
Oh, okay.
not to be married, but well, to be married.
Okay.
Not to get married, but to be married.
Good for him.
So that was basically the whole statement. I just thought that was kind of interesting because he's self-aware that he became extremely hated and that he screwed up and made all sorts of bad decisions and sort of blamed it on just being famous when he was young. So
Well, that's good.
and then owned up to it. I don't know. I've never seen him say that before. He probably has, but I thought it was interesting.
That's good to hear. He's coming into his own. Are we going to do this? The rankings of the Taylor Swift albums?
No, not this one. We'll save that for next episode, unless you
Okay.
already have a ranking list.
No, you're all good.
But I think that's a good topic for next episode.
Yeah, I'm cool with that. So yeah, that's what we were thinking about adding this season. Was one of the things we were thinking about adding was a ranking thing where we ranked, artists that had a lot of albums or recognizable albums, and we were going to rank the albums. So we were thinking we could do Taylor Swift because she just released an album. We could do Lil Wayne because that's your favorite artist. We could do maybe one of my favorite artists, whatever. So, yeah, Kanye West, all that stuff.
Yeah, I think it could be kind of crazy because some of those artists are going to be impossible to try to map out some of their albums, and that's usually the most
It's
fun
funny
for me.
because I actually just as of yesterday got in a debate with my buddy on what is the top 3 Kanye albums. And we were going back and forth, and it was pretty crazy.
So were
So
you
I was
doing
like,
top 3 in order? Because that'd be an aggravating one to try to pull off.
hello?
Hello?
What did you say?
I said, were you trying to do them in the top in the order of like top 3, like 1, 2, 3, or were you just saying top 3 as a whole group? Because if I had to ranking that's all right. I was just gonna say ranking a number 1 Kanye album is tough.
Oh, I mean, it was tough, and we both had different number one albums, and we were really, I mean, we were debating. I mean, because we were going through pretty much every one of his albums, and it was quite fun to see that play out. And I went, oh, that could be a really good segment if this is happening with a normal person. So
All right, if you were able to comment, let us know if you're able to see what or hear us at the moment because I can tell that this is loading slowly, and I just want to make sure that that's actually working properly.
well, we got 3 viewers, so I'm hoping it's working. You and
Yeah,
I are two of them, probably.
it might be. Yeah, my issue here is that I just can't see it moving on my screen over here. But I'm also recording this, so when we come back to it, we can upload it a little more smoothly. So.
True.
Dang, we've already been live for a half hour. Is that true?
Yeah, we're flying. I mean, we're doing pretty good. We're about halfway done, right?
I,
A little
I
bit.
guess so, apparently.
All right.
All right.
Well,
So it's time to
let's hop into
actually
single.
jump into our music for this week. Like you just said, singles.
So the first one was "Drive" by Tim McGraw.
This sounded very different than anything I've ever heard from Tim McGraw. This was a
It
weird
almost,
one for me. I don't know if
what
you
did you
felt that way. Uh,
What did you?
I
I
liked
mean,
it. I liked it, but I just it's
it
it's
felt
sort of
pop.
it's sort of old school. Like it's almost like an '80s sound. I felt like it was like an '80s. I don't know. It wasn't my favorite, but it's not bad. You know, it was fine.
I mean, I don't know. I got like maybe it's like an '80s pop kind of. I don't know. I got some kind of pop vibe to it from it.
Definitely not modern pop. There's nothing
No,
electronic or
no, no, no.
rappy about it. But yeah, I could see
I'm
'80s
not
pop.
saying modern. I'm not saying modern. It was definitely old school, and I don't just didn't really didn't vibe with me from something that I mean I'm used to the stuff he makes. So
Right. I don't know why he took this route, but I think sometimes artists just want to try something new to see how it takes, and that's just how it ends up being.
yeah.
So,
Oh, sometimes it just doesn't work. And then the next single we had was Midnight Hour
speaking of ones that don't work,
with Boys Noise and Ty Dolla Sign. Yeah, speaking of stuff that doesn't work. Oof, yikes.
Skrillex is progressively just getting worse and worse and worse.
Yeah. He's also like, I don't know. He like thrived at one point with like fast-paced music, and putting Ty Dolla Sign and Boys Noise on a song slows it down. It's not fast. This was crap.
But I still think even with those guys, he should have been able to pull off a pretty solid song.
Oh yeah.
And this was terrible. I mean, this was bad. So,
Nope. I agree.
all right, our next one. I'm gonna struggle to pronounce this. I apologize in advance. It's Babushka Boy. Babushka Boy
Babushka Boy.
by ASAP Rocky.
I have just been informed that it keeps freezing and buffering.
Okay, who are you informed? Well, I don't need to know who you're informed by, but that is unfortunate. I don't know what to do about that. I tried lowering it to the lowest setting of output already. Uh, but I might have some other things I can change.
Well, that's okay. Well, I mean, I'll just keep talking through, but Babushka Boy, I liked it. I felt like it was like he forgot to put it on his last album, though, that you and I were listening to. That's what I felt like. I felt like it belonged on that album.
Can you hear
Did
my
you?
dog barking?
Yeah.
I'm gonna go
like
calm her
crazy.
down. Take over for 1 second.
Okay. Hello, everyone, and welcome to this segment of Sammy Doesn't Know What to Talk About. Um, mostly because David, it looks like he kind of has a slide for him, but he really doesn't. So I'm just gonna talk about it. So Post Malone,
I'm back.
Post Malone
Come here.
released a single this week called Circles, and I really enjoyed it. Are you back?
I'm back.
Okay.
I brought a dog with me. Ah. Oh, you can't even see
Show the
her yet.
puppy.
Ah.
Yeah.
All right, she doesn't want to be up here. Okay, sorry about that.
Audio is picking up just fine. Just a lot of freezing and buffering.
All right. I don't know what we can do about that at this point. My hardware isn't as good as what we were using last week. I'll make sure that doesn't happen in the future.
All good.
So just to let the people listening know that.
So Babushka Boy, what'd you think?
Ah, Babushka Boy. First of all, awesome name. No idea what it means. Other than that, not really my style at all. I'm not feeling that vibe so much. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm not exactly sure what you just said, but
I said I liked it. I felt like it. He forgot to put it on his last album. That was the vibe I got.
I mean, I doubt that's true, but that vibe makes sense. Yeah, it's possible. I mean, it is. I mean, it is, but it's.
It just had like the same tone as his last album did.
Yeah, maybe I'm just not the biggest ASAP Rocky fan in general.
Oh, you liked his last stuff he's released, so
Yeah,
I don't know.
I don't know what it was. Didn't hit me right.
All right, the next single we have is Berserk by Big Sean, featuring ASAP Ferg and Hit Boy. Now this song I didn't really care for.
A lot of songs this week were a miss for me. I don't know what. I don't know
I
what.
almost every one of them were.
Yeah, seriously, because this one was too. This one was too. It was that real old style that I these days I just find to be like really bland. It's just like something that's already been done so many times. Uh, that I think there's a better way to make new music that's more exciting.
I'd say even the next song I didn't like, and that's surprising.
I liked the
Which,
next one. I did.
well, of course you did. Not 20 anymore, baby Rexa.
I was convinced I wasn't going to, but I did enjoy it.
I was upset that I didn't like it because this is like the pop music that I'm currently getting into. That summer poppy kind of feel.
So what part hit you wrong? What made you not like it so much?
Only you're boring.
The boring thing?
Yeah, I just felt like it was boring.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. It was good vibes and I thought the beat was pretty good. I don't disagree with your boring number. I mean, it's a typical current pop song.
Yeah.
I don't know if there was a music video for that because I haven't we haven't been reviewing our music videos this week, but maybe we'll get
I
back
have
into
no
doing that.
idea. I didn't really look.
One thing, and let us know if you think we should do this, but one thing I think we should do is maybe go over the music videos and just show like clips of it up here, like above me where the slideshows are, and we can kind of pan through the video and or maybe even play it without audio. Because if we have audio up there, we'll get copyright striked. We already tested that one out. That didn't work out so well. So I don't know. I think that could be a good way to try to dissect a music video a little bit
True, we
um,
could.
within the
I
bounds
would
of what
want to do as many as we were doing, though.
was a lot.
Yeah, maybe just like one or two an episode.
Probably like the best one of the week. Whatever is the most interesting.
Yeah. All right. Next thing we got to talk about. Oh, Post Malone circles. Yeah.
Yeah, but that's okay.